for the standings, as well as you, Andrew. But now I think it's time we hop in to our awards predictions before we hop into playoffs. So I'll kick things off with my MVP. And I have Aaron Judge. Please call me biased. I'm banking on the Yankees this year. You could say I'm a biased Yankee fan, but I'm just going based on what the numbers showed last year. And Aaron Judge was incredible last year. 39 home runs, 98 RBIs. He was an all-star. He won the Silver Slugger. He batted .287 with a .373 on base percentage, a .544 slugging percentage, and a .916 OPS. Now, one of the main reasons, despite that really good year from Judge last year, one of the main reasons I picked him as my MVP is that he's in a contract year. And there is no extension yet. There might be an extension by this week, but there still is no extension. Now, when players are in a contract year like that, especially at the age that Judge is at, that is very enticing for MVP picks. I think this is a very safe pick to have. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a Yankee fan. I'm giving you the numbers. He was fourth last year in MVP. And I think Judge is going to continue to be the elite player and right fielder that we know that he is. And his contract extension, or if he doesn't decide to stay with the Yankees, he goes somewhere else, it's going to show why he is a safe MVP pick almost every year. And for a sleeper, I have Corey Seager just because he's going to Arlington and he tears it up in Arlington. So I'm excited to see the numbers that he puts up there in Texas.
I love that pick. It's not my MVP pick, but Aaron Judge, obviously, he's my favorite player. So I'm going to love that pick. I think he's the second most likely to win it besides Trout. But I'm not going to go. Did you have any final thoughts on Seager?
Not that, just pretty much that he's going to play in Texas, and I can see him really tearing it up next year. That's just a sleeper, though.
Yeah. So for my MVP pick, he's at 20-1 odds. It's Jose Ramirez.
I like that. I like that a lot.
I think it's kind of a bold pick, according to the odds a little bit, as we have guys like Trout, Ohtani, Guerrero, Judge. But this guy's, I feel like he's always been in that discussion, top 5, top 6 for MVP, always around the upper 800s, 900 OPS. Really, the only time we've ever seen this guy not be an elite hitter was the first half of 2019 when he had that horrendous, I think it was under sub 700 OPS, but then he did pick it up with a huge second half. Had a 6.7 WAR season last year, and he's able to stay healthy a lot. So I'm going a little bold with it. Jose Ramirez as my MVP pick, going to carry that Guardians lineup to about 70 something wins.
I like that, Andrew. I really like that. I really like J-Ram. I got to give that to you. It's a good pick.
Thank you. And then my dark horse, I've at 41 odds, Byron Buxton. I think Buxton, when he's healthy, could be one of the best hitters in the league, as we saw.
April tore it up.
April,
early May, and then he was done. But he was the best player on the planet for that stretch.
If
and
Byron
then
Buxton
injuries.
Can stay healthy, watch out. He could be an MVP.
Yep. I like that. I like both of those, even though, Buxton's kind of a stretch with the injuries. But J-Ram, this is a guy that needs one of those in his trophy case. He needs a league MVP because he is that good. So good pick by you.
So does Judge. Judge needs an MVP too.
Judge needs one too, yeah. And he has gotten robbed, but he's shown that he can be at that level consistently. But I'm going to stay in Cleveland for my Cy Young, Andrew. And I'm going to go with Shane Bieber, 2020 Triple Crown AL Cy Young Award winner. You mentioned it before. He was hurt for a good portion of the season, and now they are going to hopefully have him for a whole season. He was 7-4, 3.6 ERA, and he was an all-star, but he did not pitch as much as the Guardians would have liked him to. But he is only 26 years old. I think a lot of people forget how young Shane Bieber really is. And this man has so much upside potential. And he's already shown that he is one of the better pitchers in Major League Baseball. And he's not even close to 30 years old yet. I really think Shane Bieber is going to, I know I had them lower, but I think that Shane Bieber is going to bounce back from those injuries and show everybody why he was the Triple Crown and Cy Young. And maybe he should have even been the MVP of the 2020 season because he was that good. But Shane Bieber is my Cy Young pick. As a dark horse, I have Chris Sale. I changed this pick because I had Sale at first, but then he went down in spring training. So now I was a little uncertain. At least with Bieber, I have more confidence in the health, and I think that he will return to form no problem.
Well, I like that pick. Shane Bieber, I'd say he probably has best 12-6 curveball in the league, or just curveball in general. Obviously, 2020, he was unreal. Should have won MVP. Not really sure why he didn't. I guess it's harder to win as a pitcher. But Shane Bieber, when he's healthy, probably a top 5 pitcher in baseball. So I like that pick a lot. And Chris Sale, I don't know how good he's going to be for a full season. He did look pretty good in September last year, though.
He did.
Mine, I'm going to stay with the Central, and I'm going to go a little bold here. I'm going to pick from the Chicago White Sox, Dylan Cease, the number 3 this year. He is one of the nastiest sliders in the league. Throws in the upper 90s fastball. He's very young. Top 10% K percentage, 31.9%. He had a 3.91 ERA and nearly 200 innings last year. And I think Cease is going to take a huge step up this year. Have around a 2.6 ERA, I think, for the White Sox. Around a 1 WHIP. So that's my pick. And then for Dark Horse, I have Jose Barrios, which I think was a very good pickup. Great job extending them, Blue Jays. He's at 20-1 odds for the Cy Young.
I like that. I like the Barrios pick. I think he will definitely show a lot of people why he is as good as he is. I don't want to say he's had down years, but when he was with the Twins, he was lights out, and it looked like he was going to be a perennial Cy Young pick. He had a little bit of struggles in between 19 and 20, but he picked it up last year, really showed it with Toronto that he is a top level arm, and that he could be a threat in a rotation. He could possibly be a 1 in some rotations. With the Blue Jays, he's going to be a 2, depending on how all things go, maybe even a 3. A very good pick there, Andrew. I like the Cease pick. I like the creativity here, Andrew. This is really good. This is making for a good discussion here. Dylan Cease, he was phenomenal last year. That's a great pick to have. Another guy that has a tremendous upside potential, still very young. Really excited to see what Cease does with the White Sox. Moving on to Rookie of the Year now, I have Shane Baz of the Tampa Bay Rays. Yes, I know he's hurt now. He's at plus 1,800 odds, and he's only 22. He was 2-0 in 3 starts last year with a 2.03 ERA. He's got an incredible fastball, a lot of life, a lot of great secondary pitches as well. And it's just the fact that he's playing for Tampa Bay. They're wizards in terms of pitching. They know how to get their hurlers to the best of their potential. And I feel like if Shane Baz gets enough innings and he starts enough games and is good in enough games, I think he could really run away with this pick. And he is definitely an arm to keep an eye out for the future in Tampa. And who knows, you know how Tampa operates. Once they get really good and they start to hit arbitration, he may go somewhere else. But Shane Baz, keep an eye on him for Rookie of the Year.
Well, I really like that pick. Shane Baz, when he first debuted, I think everybody got really excited, seeing all those clips from Pitching Ninja. His upper 90s fastball can reach up to 102. And it's really interesting to think how he's still a rookie, because I feel like we saw a good amount of him last year. And I honestly didn't even think about him really for my Rookie of the Year pick, because you don't really think of a guy who pitched around, what was it, like 30 something innings last year.
Yep, still qualifies though, so you got to give it to him.
Debuted in the 2020 playoffs. So
Yep.
It's a little weird just thinking about that being a Rookie of the Year. But he does qualify, so that could be your pick. And for mine, I have a guy who I mentioned earlier for the Orioles. Everyone's been so excited to watch this guy play. Ever since he got drafted number 1 overall a few years ago, it was Adley Rutschman. He's the number 2 prospect in baseball. One of the best catching prospects we've seen in years. Like, these hitting stats in the minors are crazy. And he's at 5-1 odds, so he's one of the favorites to win it. And he's the only thing that's really exciting in Baltimore, but I think he's going to have a huge year.
I like that too, Andrew. Adley Rutschman, it's been a long time coming. I mean, it hasn't been that long, but he's been on the radar ever since the College World Series back with his Oregon State team. And Adley Rutschman, switch hitting catcher for the Baltimore Orioles. Hopefully he does pan out and become that stud that everyone has projected him to be. So good on you there, Andrew. Going to move over to reliever of the year now. And I'm going to go with maybe the safest pick, the back-to-back recipient in 2020 and 2021, and that's Liam Hendricks. He had an absolutely phenomenal year last year, and I don't see him slowing down anytime soon. He was 8th in the Cy Young voting. He had a 2.54 ERA with 38 saves, and he was one of the reasons why the White Sox were as locked down as they were, especially towards the later half of many games. And this would make it 3 in a row. He won it in 2020 with Oakland. He won it in 2021 with Chicago. And I think in 2022, he will definitely be that guy once again. He's a huge piece to that team, and he's very exciting to watch. He gets all fired up, pumped up. You just love the energy that he brings to the ballpark every day. Great stuff. And as I said before, I don't really see him slowing down anytime soon. So give me Liam Hendricks for reliever of the year.
Yeah, Liam Hendricks, pretty easy pick there. He's the best reliever in baseball. So not really much you have to explain when you do a pick like that. I'm going to go with 33-year-old closer for the Astros, Ryan Presley. He burst onto the scene a few years ago when I think he went his first, 15 appearances for the Astros without giving up a run. Had a bit of a down 2020. Don't really know what happened there. It was a shortened season, so things happen. But he had a 2.25 ERA, 53 scoreless outings out of 64 games last year. He's got amazing peripherals, top 10 K percentage, walk percentage, fastball and curve spin. So I think Ryan Presley's going to get a huge year for the Astros this year, sub 2 ERA.
I like that pick too, Andrew. Ryan Presley, he's going to have to take an increased role now with the departure of Kendall Graveman. I know he wasn't in Houston that much, but Ryan Presley has been a very reliable and dependable arm for the Houston Astros for many years now. I think that's a very good option to choose. Now, I'm going to also stay in Houston for my comeback player of the year, and that's got to be Justin Verlander. He's coming off Tommy John surgery at the age of 37 years old, and he will be a driving force in this rotation, regardless of what happens. It's JV. It's JV. He's been one of the best pitchers of our generation. It's a surefire Hall of Famer, and he looks loose out there. I've seen some footage of him in spring training, throwing some bullpens. He looks like he's ready to go. And honestly, I think last year's World Series could have gone a lot different if Verlander was with the Astros. It definitely could have changed the outcome because the Astros were very shorthanded on pitching and yet still went to 6 games with the Braves. And Justin Verlander just adds that much more to anybody's rotation. They gave him 2 years, $50 million to come back. And I think that was completely fair. And like I said, because it's JV, he's that good. He's that impressive of a pitcher, and he is my comeback player of the year.
Well, I don't know so much about that pick. I can't really say I like it because he is obviously Just Verlander is very good in the deep age in the 40s, but a guy coming off Tommy John, I just don't see him having. I definitely think he's going to be a solid pitcher, maybe low 4s, high 3s. I don't think he's going to be good enough to win comeback player of the year this year, though. But it should be interesting to see him pitch again. We haven't really seen him pitch since the 2019 World Series. So for my comeback player of the year, I have Eloy Jimenez. I expected him to have a big year last year. And then he had the shoulder. He separated his shoulder trying to rob a home run in spring training. And then I think the White Sox think he died or something because they held his jersey in the dugout before a game and signed it, which I thought was a little excessive for a guy who's going to come back later that year. But he came back in July, didn't really do much. And he's one of the best power bats in the league when healthy. Had 559 slugging in the shortened season. So I think this guy's bound for 45, 50 homers this year.
Wow. 45 to 50 home runs for Eloy Jimenez. That, to me, is a little bit of a stretch, but I like the pick in terms of the award because he does add a lot of value to an offense, to any offense, and hopefully he will continue to grow in the designated hitter spot. We'll see what he does in the outfield. He's a little questionable on the outfield side, but Eloy Jimenez, I do like your pick, and I respect your honesty for not liking my JV pick, but I do like the Eloy pick. I think that's a very solid selection. And the last award that we're going to touch on for our American League episode, and that's Manager of the Year. And I got Scott Service of the Seattle Mariners. Now, I think this team is going to make the playoffs for the first time in 20 plus years. I have them winning that division. I could even see this team making a deeper playoff run if they get the luck that they can find. But I thought this award could have and maybe should have gone to him last year with the work that he had done with this team and everything that they had gone through, and they just surprised everybody. And they won 90 games. They did miss the playoffs, but I think the Mariners take a big enough leap so where their manager can be honored in this manner. Scott Service, your Manager of the Year for the American League.
So that's a pretty good pick. I think he should have won it last year. I forgot who won it last year, but I think that Scott Service definitely deserved it, despite the team not making the playoffs. I think this year I got Charlie Montoya. I talked about the Blue Jays, how I'm on their hype train this year. And with them winning over 100 games in my predictions, I think that honor is going to go to Charlie Montoya, who's only in his third or fourth year as manager, I believe.
I believe it's his fourth year.